Emotions are running high in Israel and the Palestinian territories, where an Israeli soldier is about to be returned to his family after 5 years in captivity. But Gilad Shalit's freedom has come at a steep price. Israel is freeing hundreds of Palestinian prisoners, many of them serving life sentences for deadly attacks on Israeli civilians. Middle East correspondent Ben Knight joins us now from Gilad Shalit's hometown. Ben, do we know where the Israeli soldier is at the moment?
Not officially, Juanita, but we do know that he's out of Gaza and out of Hamas captivity. Now, there's an in-between phase where he is transferred to Egypt, where the International Committee of the Red Cross will do some checks, and at that point he'll be transferred by helicopter to an airbase near Tel Aviv, where he'll be reunited with his family. Some reports coming through that in fact has already happened, but nothing official. At the same time, there are hundreds of Palestinian prisoners who are in the process of themselves being transferred out of Israeli prisons, some of them into Egypt, where they'll go back to Gaza. Some have been expelled from the country altogether, some going into the West Bank. Here in Mitzpeh Halah, which is the hometown of the Shalit family, pretty much every news network is here to cover this major event. There are probably about 5 or 6 cameras simply to cover the drive as the family makes its way up this road and around that corner to go to their home for the first time together in more than 5 years.
Well, the exchange rate, so to speak, 1,000 to 1. Why would Israel pay such a high price?
Well, Israel's army is a conscript army. Almost every Jewish family in Israel sends its sons and daughters for 2 or 3 years of military service. And it's not just national service. These are combat roles that some of them are going to. So Israel's government has always had that bond with its people that it will do everything it can to bring soldiers home, alive or dead. 2.5 years ago, there was another prisoner exchange, nowhere near as large, but that was just to bring home the bodies of 2 Israeli soldiers who were killed in Lebanon. So there's been enormous pressure on this Israeli government and the previous one to do the same. Today, it appears as though it's happening.
Is it a victory then for Israel or Hamas?
Well, it's being pitched as a victory for both, certainly for Israel's Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu. I mean, there's something like 80% support in this country for bringing Gilad Shalit back to his family. There is opposition, of course, from the victims, the families of the victims of the Palestinian prisoners who were responsible for some of the worst terror attacks of the First and Second Intifada. There was, in fact, a court hearing here yesterday trying to stop this transfer from happening by the victims' families. It didn't happen. It's now going ahead. But it's also going to give Hamas a much-needed boost. In terms of Palestinian politics, it has really been losing support since Abu Mazen went to the United Nations with his request for Palestinian statehood. Hamas has been out of the picture. Today, they get their media moment, welcoming home hundreds of prisoners, which it's assumed will give them a boost in the Palestinian polls.
Thanks, Ben. Ben Knight there with the latest from Israel.